Man, what's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? This is Polo. I'm trying to do my best to help y'all through these long days. Well, the longest hours of the day, which is the midday. I'm sorry I'm late. I was supposed to go live a little bit earlier, but situations, it's okay. It happened. It happened. I went live on Monday and I tried to express to everybody that here comes the built-in excuses. And I did it early enough just to put it out there beforehand. And what's going on, bro? I put it out there so I could dead the narrative before the narrative started to get going and gain traction and everything. I put out the narrative. I tried to destroy the narrative. Bias J, it's still Team Spence on my right. But bro, I told you that whole bigger, stronger stuff that doesn't work. That only works for heavyweights. It doesn't work for everything else. And we found out real quick that Spence ain't that strong. But I digress. Like I was saying, I was putting out, video that live to get ahead of the narrative. There's people trying to say that the gloves were tampered with. There's people trying to say that the wraps were tampered with. There's people saying that he went into the fight brain damage. Now, true enough, someone who lives constantly with a TBI, that's a traumatic brain injury, for those that don't know. It is a difficult thing. It is a difficult situation. It really is. And I will never try to say that somebody is not dealing with a brain injury when they have clear signs that they do. Now, if this is the case and Errol Spence does have a severe brain injury and it can be traced back to his car wreck, then there's a bigger problem in boxing. There's a much bigger problem in boxing if that is the case. Because this is how it goes. With the traumatic brain injury, when you're doing physical labor or anything that requires full range of motion of thought, your brain gets foggy. Your brain is not so clear as it should be. Your sharpness isn't all the way there. And listening to Errol Spence speak, even before the fight, I could pick up on something not being right mentally, not so much physically or anything like that. But that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. All I'm gonna say is whoever the medical examiners are should have given that man a neurological examination. What's the money? I seen an excuse video. There's been plenty of excuse videos. Bruh, Chappelle, the gloves were not loaded. There was no loaded gloves. No loaded gloves. We don't start that, please, because we went through this with Fury and Wilder and everything else. The man lost, and it's okay. That doesn't mean that he's just god awful now. That doesn't mean that he's going to, just fall off the face of the map. He just lost a fight. If all the greats have lost at least one fight in their career. So, bro, your honest opinion, what did you think it was with Earl? What I think it was with Earl is the fact that, okay, this is going to seem a little offensive, but I don't care. It's Friday. Let's piss people off. I think it was more of I bit off more than I could chew. I think it was that I bit off more than I could chew because let's not pretend like for the past 5 to 6 years or even longer, people have been clamoring for this fight. People have been waiting for this fight. People have been asking for this fight. People have been begging for this fight. And let's go through the myriad of reasons why it didn't happen. Reason number one, he didn't have a belt. He got a belt. Reason number two, He's on the other side of the street, and we don't deal with dudes on the other side of the street. He left that situation. The splits. Did you know at one time this guy was asking for some crazy split that wouldn't even make sense? Like, even if he won, he would have lost. And then so on and so on and so on and so on, gaslighting, all this different type of shit. And when he finally gets the fight, now, true enough, Errol Spence is a warrior. He's a warrior. He's a competitor. I can never take that away from him. People think that I hate Errol Spence. I do not hate Errol Spence. I just really don't care for his fan base. His fan base are Cowboys fans, and Cowboys fans are some of the worst fans in the world to me. But that's beside the point. Errol Spence ran into a boxer, and boxers always beat punchers. Always. I don't care what is going on. There's been a few anomalies, but when boxing is not your profession, knocking out people or just brutalizing people are your profession. You're going to get beat by a boxer. It's true. In a crazy way, I could get Wilder fans because Fury wasn't knocking people out, but Bud KOs everybody. Gloves was not loaded. Okay, when it comes to people were not really initiated with Tyson Fury because he's a foreign fighter. He's a UK fighter. So majority of his fights took place overseas. And a problem in America is that a lot of Americans say that they're fans of boxing, but they're not fans of all boxing. They like to watch just American fighters instead of what's going on across the pond. So nobody was really initiated with this man. I want y'all to keep the same. And when Earl get butted, well, see, this is a misnomer. This is a misnomer at 154. Do you know what Errol Spence walks around at, Chappelle? Errol Spence walks around about between 175 and 185. Bud naturally walks around about 165. So who's going to be more comfortable in that fight? One or the other. You get a comfortable Bud that's closer to his natural walk-around weight against a guy who's still actually cutting Jurassic weight to get in the ring. There's going to be no real difference at 154, except for it's probably going to go to a split decision. That's the only thing I can say. That's pretty much it. Everything else will probably remain the same because we've established already he's not stronger than him. And like I said Monday, Errol Spence lost this fight in the second round. That's where he lost this fight. And I'm pretty sure all of you Earl sexuals are going to be in here talking about, no, that's not it. You're about to lose your minds. You're about to have a conniption. You're about to have a nervous breakdown and all this different type of stuff. And it's okay. It's okay. Everybody loses. It's not the end of the world. It's not. Be thankful that the man is. Didn't I tell you that Inoue was going to beat the hell out of Cool Boy Steph? Didn't I tell you that Terrence Crawford was going to beat Errol Spence? There's only been probably one or two predictions that I've ever made that it did not pan out, and that was Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson. But I roll with Jamel Harrington because he's a vet. I ride with my vets. Win or lose, I ride with the vets. And the other one was Rolly and Tank. And I did that because, hell, Rolly's just a fun guy to root for. He's funny as hell. Now, if you're talking about bias as far as with Devin Haney, anybody on here can tell you Devin Haney really isn't that good. He's good, but he's not that good. But we're not talking about Devin. Yeah, I was talking about Ugas too. I said 2 or 3. Ugas. Because think about it like this. The reason why I picked Ugas in that fight is because he was coming off of the Pacquiao victory. He was coming off the Pacquiao victory, and he had momentum swinging in his favor. Errol Spence is only a once-a-year fighter, if that. Dev is not that damn good. If you're that damn good, it shouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this: if you are that damn good, there shouldn't be controversy from the higher ups and the fans. If you are that damn good, it should be controversy just from one or the other, not both. If you're that damn good, to prove that you are that guy, why not run things back? I was wrong as fuck. Loma beat Devin. It was just the fact that Devin, he's likable. Chappelle, they don't want to talk about him being clear today, though. Clear? Clear for what? If you're talking about Earl is not clear to do anything, really. He's doing things at his own risk. See, now, okay. If you've boxed and you've had fighters, you know unequivocally, after certain things, there's mandatory suspensions. There's mandatory time off. That's how it goes. That's exactly how it goes. Errol Spence can say that he's in a lab, but he cannot produce or schedule anything for at least 90 days right now. Devin, those were felonious charges. I don't even believe in those charges. It's like the essay case that Rolly Romero had. I can't, allegedly, I cannot say that it did or did not happen because of certain reasons. But at the same time, when you speak to people who live in those areas, there's no way in hell that could have got off. Sure, hating today. See, the truth always sounds like hate to people who hate the truth. And that's just a fact. It just is what it is. Now, like I said, get over it. What's next? What is next? Don't sit here and dwell on the loss and then come up with these excuses. There's excuses. You can make an excuse for everything. It was too hot in the arena. He was dehydrated. He was constipated. You can do all of this stuff. Rematch. Now, with what you've seen, and this is where I'm about to start pulling people's card. This is like honest to God. This is where I'm about to start pulling people's card who say that they know boxing. I'm not as nice as Slick is. I'm not. I love the people who come in and they patronize us. I love y'all. I really do. But a lot of people who come in here are fans of the man instead of being fans of the sport. And when you're a fan of the sport, more things happen and you're able to look at things objectively and clearly. But when you're a fan of the man, you can't. You can't. Because if you did, you would know that Errol Spence probably should have never been in that ring to begin with. Like I was saying earlier when I started this, the man shows visible signs of a TBI. Visible signs of it. Yes, Errol Spence has always been a slow talker. I cannot debate that. He always has been somewhat of a slow talker, but he's never been a slurred talker. Errol Spence had slurred speech. Go back and look at the press conferences and all the interviews leading up to the fight. Errol Spence's speech was kind of slurred to the point to where it was almost unlegible to understand. That's when the commission should have stepped in, but they didn't. Now, if you want to place any blame on anybody why Earl Spence lost this fight, it's the commission. It's the medical examiners. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. And like I said, this isn't taking anything away from Terrence. Crawford can't spell correctly. And what does that statement mean? What does that have to do with anything? That means nothing. That's an empty statement. Come on, Murph, you gotta do better than that. Give me a statement that has substance to it, not conjecture. Come on, bro. You know we fucking with you. No. I know y'all fucking with me. I know y'all fucking with me. Murph Chappelle, 913. I'm not referring these comments to you guys. I am not. I am not referring these comments to you guys. I'm talking about the people who are like part-timers, the people who have these channels where majority of them I'm banned from any damn way. The channels to where they're not boxing channels, they're just fan channels. There's a lot of fan channels out here. And that's why it's starting to get harder and harder to get interviews. That's why it's starting to get harder and harder to get the content to bring to you guys. How many times can me and Slick get on together or get on separately and invite everybody up on a panel and we have an in-depth discussion about these fighters without being able to talk to these fighters? Like, it's annoying. And I wish these false prophets, these false messiahs out here on YouTube boxing would be stopped. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of channels that have gone by the wayside. There's a lot of them that have. There's a lot of channels that have gone by the wayside recently. When, like, say for instance, when Deontay Wilder lost. When Deontay Wilder lost, a lot of channels left. It's not because the first loss that he took. It was the second loss. A lot of those channels are gone. A lot of them are. They can't even produce content because nobody's fucking with you. There's a lot of channels that, I'm sorry, but are going to go away. A lot of channels are going to go away September 10th. I'm an Earl fan still. I've been annoyed all week by everybody. See, that's because there really are Terrence Crawford fan pages. There are Terrence Crawford fan pages. Now, like we've explained before, we are fans of these boxers, but we're more of a fan of the sport. I can tell you everything that Terrence did wrong in that fight. He stayed within range a lot more than what he should have. But that's okay. He pulled off the victory. But he was in that man's range too much. Way too much. I don't know if it was to look to counter him like he did all night or whatever, but that's something that him and his corner needs to deal with. A lot of times Terrence Crawford stays in range too much, and it leads to him getting clipped. It leads to him taking unnecessary shots. See, that was objective. A lot of these other channels can't do that. They can't do that because of their chat. Their chat will start to lead. Their chat will start to turn on them and everything like that. If you guys really love boxing like that and you go to these other channels, say something in there that is against the status quo. Say something in there that is objective. Say something in there that makes complete and utter logical sense, and watch how fast you get blocked or timed out. Because that's not what they want. Like, look, for the past 5 years, look at all the channels that have gone away. Does the LDBC have that much power over, boxing YouTube anymore? No. More too. Crawford does need to move his head more too. Crawford needs to. The reason why he doesn't move his head as much as he does is because he's always looking to pull counter. He is. But range is a big factor in that too. If your range isn't what it needs to be. When you try to pull counter, you're leaning back and you're still getting hit. It doesn't work as good. Now, I can say that's one thing that he probably should work on. Yes, say something like rematch would be different at 154. Rematch, see, now here's the thing. I'm not saying that a rematch wouldn't be different. I said it would be different. The only difference would be that instead of a stoppage, it'll probably just be a split decision. And honest to God, he lost. So what makes you think that the rematch should be in Texas? Like, when do losers get what they want? He lost, but y'all, why should the rematch be in Texas? Why? Just like, I really want you to explain that, Murph, or even Chappelle, anybody, explain to me why the rematch should be in Texas. He didn't earn that. He didn't earn it. When it's under contract, says who? Says who? Who said that was in the contract? Who told you that was in the contract? Because I'm gonna give you some free game on this too. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Like, I know that seems cliche by now, but don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything that a lot of people say. A lot of these bloggers and everything like that, believe only 50% of what they say. Because a lot of them think that they have inside knowledge and they really don't. Hope to God it is, because rap policy. This is crazy. No, it's not that it's crazy. It's not that it's crazy. It's the fact that it's sanctioned. Whatever, like, okay, different sanctioning bodies, different things like that, they have different rules and they have different stipulations. Like I've said before, when fighting in Cuba, when a mouth guard comes out, fight is paused right then and there to give the fighter a chance to regain his mouth guard. That's why Ugas didn't jump over Earl when he knocked his mouth guard out or knocked his partials out, whatever it was. That's why he stopped, because of how he was trained. Now, there's been several instances of this all over the sport. Like, there's things that you can get away with in the UK that you cannot get away with in the States at all. There's things everywhere, in every sanctioned body, in every thing of the sort, every body that runs anything in this sport, they have different rules and regulations. Now, I'm a nerd, and I'm proud of it. I like to look at stuff like that. I do. I like to look at stuff like that. I like to see who has the advantage in this situation. And some fighters have the advantage over others because of sanctions. And also, you get what you negotiate. That's flat out too. You get what you negotiate. If you did not negotiate it, bruh, you get what you negotiate. That's all I can say about it. You get what you negotiate. If you did not, why do you think that Floyd always negotiated for a certain type of glove, a certain type of this, a certain type of that, a certain type of ring size? All that doesn't matter. It's what you negotiate. Like I said, Floyd, he negotiated plenty of things into his contract. And you only got what you. Oh, he got it. Okay. So whose fault is that? Is that Earl's fault? Is that Terrence's fault? Who? Because it seems like a lot of blame is going on Terrence and not on the person who did not negotiate well. That's like, we're all grown men here. We're all grown men here. I don't deal with it, but I've known people who dealt with it, so I can't speak solely on it. I can only speak partially on it. It's like child support. When you have the upper hand, you only get what you negotiate with the judge. Anything outside of that is extra. It's extra, and you're not entitled to it. The same can be said for boxing. Can I say names on channels? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can say names of channels. I don't care about that, but what we're not going to do is we're not going to free promote either. Playing, but we down here for real. And nothing from okay. See, that's what I like to hear. But at the same time, with the victor go the spoils. That's the rule of war. We're all men. We are warriors. We are all warriors at heart. We know this. It's like, okay, it's like this. We get into a fist fight and you beat my ass. You like utterly just beat my ass. And then I just invite you to my house for another fight. In front of my family, my friends, and everything like that. Now you just beat my ass. No, I want to come to you. I want to come to you. I'm not gonna let you come to me. I fuck with Rapstar. That's the only other boxing channel I fuck with. Chappelle, I don't even fuck. I'm be real with you, dude. I have unsubscribed to a lot of these channels. I am not following. I'll probably only subbed up to 2 boxing channels or 3. That's it. Because I can't take the wishy-washiness of it, and I can't take the dishonesty. There's a lot of dishonest motherfuckers out here. There's a lot of people who just say things just for clicks, just for views, instead of being genuine about it. There's a lot of fakeness when it comes to discussing sports out here. I'm just pissed. People say Bud would have taken the rematch. Okay, the rematch is optional. I'm gonna put this out here. The rematch is optional. That's it. The rematch is optional. Bud does not have to accept the rematch if he does not want to. I want to put that out there. And it's only up to Earl to activate the rematch. And if Earl activates the rematch, Terrence can either accept it or decline it. And if he accepts it, Terrence sets the terms. Because Terrence signed a 3-fight deal basically with PBC in order to get this fight. And that's what he negotiated. Remember back in September, that was the problem when people were talking about Terrence is doing too much, wanting to see the finances and all this different type of stuff of PBC, which in my opinion, if you're going to go into a contract with somebody and you're hearing about faulty business practices, you would want to know who you are doing business with. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people did because he was going against Earl Spence. If he was going against any other person, nobody would have had a problem with this. And I think that's wrong. I think I'm just thinking, this is all conjecture. This has no weight, this has no bearing, this has no sense of, weight in any situation. But I really believe that people hate Terrence Crawford. I really think that people hate him. And I don't know why. Is it because he's not always out in the public eye? See him with the 1,000,001 chains on. He doesn't, like, when I was growing up, I grew up Midwest. And the real niggas, they dressed like Terrence. They dressed like Terrence. They didn't dress like Earl did with all the chains and everything like that. Real niggas didn't dress like that. You was, if you had on all that shit, you was food to the real ones. You was gonna get robbed by the real ones. So all that chain, all that bling, all that different type of shit, that's not a Midwest thing for real. Not really. It's really not. And I think that's why people more so gravitate towards Earl Spence than they do Terrence Crawford, because he's putting off the illusion of real nigga. And I don't get that. More than likely the rematch is happening. That a good. I don't. You want him to sit on rematch for real? For what you? No, 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 no. Yeah, that's Southern stuff. That's Southern thing. That's something that it happens in the Southern community. That's not a Midwest thing. The big chains and all that stuff. Bud did his thing, but was off in a fight to me. And I'm telling you what it is, Chappelle. The neurological department of any of these places should have checked Earl Spence. How you know Earl ain't a real one? I don't. I don't. I'm just speaking like this. Okay, you from the Bay. The Bay in Kansas City is almost the same thing, bruh. You see, you was coming up too, Pale, with this. You see a nigga flossing too much, he must not want it. He must not want it. Even when Mac Dre and them was doing their thing, one chain was enough. These niggas out here with the big ass chains, the 1,000,001 chains, the diamonds and all that shit, you was a target. You was a target. Right or wrong. Cut the shit. Absolutely, Polo. That is true. Like Bud is just dangerously retarded. I'm gonna put it like that. That nigga's off. He's off. When I say he's off, he's that bad kid that had the braids with Kool-Aid stains around his mouth, outside throwing rocks at people. That's Bud. He's that bad kid that was missing teeth, talking about shut up, saying shit like that as a kid. He was a bad kid. That's what I get from him when I see him. Now, is that true? Probably not. It's probably not. But knowing the Midwest the way that I do, hey, bro, I didn't caught a bullet. He caught one in the head. Okay. If it did not hamper him to the point to where his motor functions is off, then he's good. Now, one thing I can say about Bud that a lot of people don't talk about, the reason why Bud is so ambidextrous the way he is because he broke his hand. And he had no choice but to use his left hand a lot more than his right hand. He had no choice but to do that. And with him doing that, it gave him the key to become a switch hitter, to where even he's more comfortable with his left now than he is with his right. He's more confident being southpaw than he is being orthodox. And that's dangerous. His power hand is always in your face. It's always in your face. Power hand. But like I said, it happened. It's over. It's over. Tomorrow will be officially 7 days since this has happened. So the 7 stages of grief should have already happened. Accept it now. Get over it. You know? It's okay. It's okay. Remember that. So get some help. Get some help. It's still Team Spence on my mind. And that's cool. Yes, do that. I want you to feel that way. I want you to feel that way. I'm not coming on here to bash real fans, true believers. That's like Stan Lee would say. I'm here against the sometime fan. The sometime fan. The sometime fan really pisses me off. Really pisses me off. The sometime fan really pisses me the fuck off. It does. Because if this was your guy, why when he lose, he's no longer your guy? I've seen people turn on Spence now. Now that is wrong. That is wrong. And I don't like that shit. They need to stop. Now, I want you to be a fan. Keep being a fan, Chappelle. Murphy, keep being fans of this dude. Because he needs y'all. Right now, he needs y'all. He needs y'all to be honest with him. Not kiss his ass. I think that Spence fans, like I said earlier, are like Cowboys fans. There's true Cowboys fans, and then there's Cowboy fans. And when I say it like that, everybody who's a Cowboys fan should know what I mean. They're the one, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Yes, Dak is the greatest quarterback ever. No, there's objective one. They wasn't a real fan to begin with, if that's it. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, as much shit as you talk to me, Pale, I still support Yordenis Ugas. I'm still a fan of him, even though he lost. And that's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I could be honest. Be honest. True dog. Right here, man. But you can be objective about Dak. You could be objective when it comes to Dak. You could be objective when it comes to CeeDee Lamb. I've heard you. You could be objective when it comes to the way Jerry Jones handles the team. I've heard you on that head. Come in and run that shit back after Thurman is my dream. See, the problem that Thurman is going to face in this situation, let's just for shits and giggles, Terrence wins. Not Bud, but Spence wins the rematch. He's still not going to fight Keith Thurman. He's not. He is not going to do it. And I think that's soft. That's just me. That's cool. But if anything, he should. He should get him out the way. He should shut him up. That's what I would do. I would shut that nigga up. Because now you have to take an ass whooping because I got beat. Now you have to. Now you need to get these hands. You have to. But is that going to happen? Probably not. It's probably not going to happen. Fuck Jerry Jones and see you. Man, we should kill Maury. Between the rematch. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If Earl decides to take I hate that term tune-up fight, but if he chooses to take a fight in between the rematch happening, it should be Keith Thurman. It should be. It should be either Keith Thurman or Boots. That's who it should be. PBC is the reason why. Okay, I was talking to somebody about this. If you notice, and you guys have knowledge about this, give me 10 pure boxers on PBC. Give me 10 pure boxers. I'll do you better. Give me 5 pure boxers that are not brawlers on PBC. Because to me, it seems like PBC has all of the same fighter. They don't want boxers, though. They want brawlers. They want the excitement. They don't want boxers. Boxers are at top rank and have been at top rank. Only thing PBC got is flashy ass niggas. That's it. Lil Charlo's not a boxer. He's a knockout artist, remember? Danny's a brawler. Danny's a brawler. Any two times somebody will sit there and stand with you in every damn fight and just trade punches with you, they're brawlers. Where's the boxers? You got Caleb Plant. No. Dev is not with PBC. Dev is not a PBC fighter. I'm talking about, are there boxers on PBC? There's no boxers on PBC except for probably 2 or 3, probably 4 at the most. And I'm waiting on everybody to name them because there's no real boxers. Because that's not what Al Heyman is looking for. Yes, Charles was outboxed by Harrison. He was outboxed by him. Where's the boxers on PBC? That's all I'm looking for is the boxers. Because if you look at everybody from heavyweight on down, they're the same archetype. They're the same archetype of fighters. They're in the same, it's a default setting. That's all it is. A lot of PBC fighters they all are almost the same. Will stand there with you, will trade with you, all this different type of stuff. That's it. I'm not going to say that there's no skill. I'm not saying that because that's totally disrespectful. But at the same damn time, I could be honest. PBC does not really have boxers. They have brawlers. That's why you never really see any cross promotion between Top Rank and PBC. And it's some of it has to do with the business side of things. And that's fine. But the only boxer that PBC has had in the past 10 years, real traditional boxer, was Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and Canelo, before Canelo became Canelo. Other than that, and then, okay, Manny off and on or whatnot, but Manny is traditionally Top Rank. Floyd developed in Top Rank. I mean, Terrence developed in Top Rank. Bradley, Top Rank. Andre Ward, Top Rank. Tyson Fury, Top Rank. Shall I keep going? Shakur Stevenson, Top Rank. I mean, boxers. These are boxers. I mean, you have the flashiness of a Deontay Wilder, but when he runs into a boxer, it's problems. Jamal and Jermell Charlo. Yeah, they're good. They're knockout artists, but when they run into boxers, it's a problem. Come on, Polo, bro. You knocking Al Heyman now, bro. No, I'm not knocking Al Heyman. He put together a brilliant business model. What's going to put butts in seats? Excitement. I'm not hating on that. I think that's cool. That's cool. That really is. That's a cool thing. But let's be honest at the same time. That's what we're here for, right? To be honest. Plus, they only fight once a year, so timing is going to be off, just like Spence complained about. True. That's true. That's true. I can't fight that. I can't. And something else that happens with PBC, just look at this objectively. Follow me through this. Look at this objectively. When you see the people who are named, the Fury, I mean, not the Fury, but Wilder, Charlo brothers, Earl Spence, even Tank. I hate to bring him into this. It's if top if PBC has all these fighters, if your fighters are that damn good, all your fighters are those guys, why are their win-loss percentages filled with a lot of fluff? There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of empty calories. There's a lot of salary. I mean, not salary, but a lot of salad on their resume. Not enough steak. A lot of salad. There's a lot of potatoes. A lot of salad. There's a lot of sides. But there's no steak. Like, be honest. Be honest. Please be honest. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, other than Tyson Fury, give me a top 5 person that he's fought. When it comes to Jamal and Jermell Charlo, other than Tony Harrison and I forgot older brother's last opponent, please forgive me for that. Give me the steak. Give me the steak. When it comes to even Tank Davis, give me the steak. Don't give me salad. Don't let me fill up. He's filling up on bread at a buffet. That's all that's going on at PBC. They're being filled with bread. And I want to tell you what's going to be even more evident of it. September 10th. September 10th is going to be a full-on display of exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Full-on display of what the hell I'm talking about. Filling up on bread alone. Where's the meat? Even in the Bible, it says, man shall not live on bread alone. Even the Bible says that. So I say all this to say we have to move on now from Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford until anything new develops. Look forward to what's going on next. Like the next big fight is, like I said, Charlo and Canelo. Let's look for that. Let's break that down. Let's break down the intricacies of each fighter. What makes each fighter actually special in this fight? Who has more of an advantage than the other? Let's do all that. Until then, this is Polo, and I'm out. Hopefully, Slick will expand on everything I said later on tonight. And if I'm able to, I will be there tonight. Peace out, y'all.